Alright, hey everyone, I've had some requests for me to demo the Randall Satan 50 watt. I've never made a video before. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. I don't know how it's going to turn out, so let's see how it goes. You guys said don't care how it sounds, so alright. So I'm going to just be recording the room mic with a Blue Yeti that I've hooked up. I have a Marshall 1960 with the Randall 50 watt playing through an Ibanez, one of the Iron Label series. If my little nice light up kill switch in there. EMGs, your typical setup that you would for metal. Something I did notice with this amp is I did have a PV6505 Plus, and my other amp before that was a Line 6 Flex Tone 2. 100 watt amp, 300 watt amp. I'm used to barely turning it up and just being loud. I'm not used to 50 watt with how quiet it is for how much you have to kind of juice it before you kind of get that power from there. I guess that's to be expected. It does, as most other smaller amps, have a little bit less low end. I do like a really chunky, fat, almost flubby low end, where when you palm mute, you really feel it. I think I got on this a pretty good feeling of it. I'm not gonna shred. I'm not a shredder. I'm more of a riff guy. But for most videos on YouTube, people really want to hear how palm muting and some power chords sound like to get a really tone feel of the amp. With the 50 watt, it doesn't have a sweep knob that the 120 does. This one more has a 3 switcher selector, which definitely you could definitely tell how the mids kick through the amp, because it is supposed to be for depending on the type of cab you are putting it through. Right now I have it running to 16 ohms. I tried it the other day at 8 and I did not like it. It sounded very weak. It sounded like it could barely push it through. The tone didn't sound great no matter which way you did the sweep knobs on a switcher on there. So I left it on the 16 with the sweep on the bottom. Bottom setting seems to be the best, gives it the fullest sound. So my settings that I have on here that I found that I worked for me, the gain on this amp, pretty much you need it around 3 o'clock. Anything less, it drops off really hard. You're not going to get a full tone. You're not going to get a full feel for the amp. So people say, oh, you don't want to put too much gain to oversaturate, you won't sound it. This amp, you kind of have to crank it a good bit for you to feel it. Girth and grind, I have both just about at about 1 o'clock. Let's see, my gain's at about 3. Bass is about 2. My mid on this one, this amp you can pump the mids really hard, and it gives it a nice clean push through it. Trying to scoop it, at least on the sweep with the bottom, doesn't sound like a nice sweep. You can say rectifier or PV would sound like. Sounds like the mids just kind of just die off. It just has not a fan of the sound of that. Treble, I have just after 12. And my depth is about 230-ish 3. Presence is about 1. So with that, I'm just going to just do a couple palm mute, a couple just riffing here. This is, I believe my guitar right now is in drop C. So, let's try. And I have a pedal board, nothing's plugged in. I only have my ISP decimator in there. Just, it's not so loud. Sounds great. Right now I do have it a little bit more trebly, where the presence a little bit higher than I would like. I like to bring it in to kind of hone it down a bit. The kill switch on this amp, you really hear it more if you're palm muting single notes rather than playing it. It does kind of act as, you could say, almost as a tube screamer. It does kind of give a little bit of a tightened feel to it. So here's a couple palm mutes with it off. On. So you can kind of hear the slight difference, and it does kind of tighten it up a little bit, gives it that little extra kick. Same thing with here's the palm muting like a. You can hear the kick on that very well. Also on this amp, you don't have your actual EQ settings for your clean channel. Your clean channel is basically just the gain, which is from clean to slight barely crunch. I guess if you really push it, I haven't messed with it that much, to be honest. Volume, which I have at right now on that 1 o'clock. Tones at 1, and it's more the tone now, but as far as the characteristics, I'm more low and high and mid kind of mix. So it's just you're more mix of a flow, kind of like how some oranges would be. And master I do have right now at about 8 o'clock, so it's not really super loud. It's decent sound in the room. You can really feel it. To gig it, probably just bump it up a little bit more. But cleans, especially on EMG pickups, sound great. Sounds way better than the PV. To be honest, I don't use cleans too often. If I do, you know, I use my reverb and such like that to clean it up, shape it, and make it a little bit better. On the clean is where the kill switch really, really not shines, but definitely kicks through. So because you know it adds that extra 6 decibels of gain, as I said. So here's just that same. Add the kill. Way louder. You hear a little bit of. It's a little more broken up. Yeah, it's definitely being driven a lot more. His kill's still on. Turn it off. You hear that difference? So overall, it's I'm loving the tone of the distortion, with especially at low ends. So I guess with this helping being 50 watt and having a master volume on it too. With my PV6505 Plus, I realized you know it's very loud amp, so I can't crank it as loud as I would like. There's a lot of fizziness in your distortion, a lot of. I couldn't tell if it was my guitar, if it was the setup or what, but I just noticed that's just the characteristics of that amp. With this, that's definitely something you don't experience. You don't have the fizziness. You just have just a straight, you know. It's pure distortion straight through, no fizziness to it. Very high gain, so definitely you're going to need a noise gate on there. Usually I have my noise gate decimator at about 1 o'clock. Right now I have it run back to 12. But very loud without it. Let me turn off the decimator for you. Let's see. So that's without the decimator with the gain on. So it's a very loud amp, so definitely that's very, very needed, as this can be a. Sorry for not having the guitar in the shot as I play. I'm sure you guys are more interested in just looking at the amp yourselves. But that was just a quick rundown. I guess as time goes on, I might give it a bit more. I do have some songs on my channel already with me doing slight covers with a couple of songs with my other amps. So once I get a bit more comfortable, I'll do that with here and make it a lot better. And you know, it's the first time giving it a go. I'm going to try to do this completely uncut and upload it as you see now. So yeah, it's the Randall 50. No one else has put it online. No one has done anything. And I'm surprised. Ola, what are you doing? Hasn't even done a little demo breakdown of it yet. According to the Randall spokesperson I pre-ordered, I got the second one that they produced that they sent out. So I don't know if nobody else is buying the amps right now or just really putting them out, but I'm happy to have this as the first one that's online. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. and see if I can do a bit more rocking out for you guys. Thank you.